Choosing simplicity doesn't necessarily mean going without. Sometimes it means more of what truly matters. And when a high-flying airline pilot gave up his job to build a tiny house, that is exactly what he discovered. Hi David, how are you?
Hey, Bryce, nice to meet you.
It's really nice to meet you, and this is such a cool house that you've built here.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's not often that I see a tiny house that has a parking spot like this, because you're right on the street. You're actually quite exposed here, aren't you?
Yeah, this is actually just the building site for the place. It actually wasn't supposed to stay here, but it seems to have ended up staying here.
Right.
Yeah.
So can you tell me about the land that you're on here?
Yeah, so this is my sister's land. She offered to have me build a tiny house here using her partner's tools and having a good place to build it. I kind of pushed the trailer into the hillside and started building the tiny house, and then realized because I had literally pushed the trailer in sideways, it made it quite difficult to get out.
Right.
And so moving it wasn't such an easy thing to do, and then my sister was okay with me staying here, and that's how I've kind of grown some roots here.
It's such a nice parking spot, and it's great that you get to be connected to family as well, because this place has quite a bit of family history for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, my parents owned this land about 20 years ago, and eventually they sold it and subdivided it. My sister got half, her partner got the other half. And now she's got her little cottage up there. Her partner's got a tiny house. There's the main house and this tiny house. So it's a bit of a village now.
I love that.
Yeah.
And this tiny house just looks so good. This was a DIY project, wasn't it?
Yes. There's a few people that are doing YouTube videos on tiny houses, and some ideas came from that. And this was actually an idea that came out of the lockdown. So during the lockdown in 2020, a lot of time to kind of reevaluate what I was doing, and the job having kind of disappeared. It gave me a chance to come up with a project to kind of hold me over until the next bit of work came along.
Yeah, because you were a commercial pilot before, so there's been a big life transition for you.
Yeah, good transition from being on the road all the time and living in hotels out of a suitcase and flying expensive planes and go all the time to locked down in a cabin. And for the first time in years, noticing the birds, noticing the change of the seasons and the weather patterns from from the ground, and really feeling like I was ready to settle down and stop just kind of go all the time.
Yeah.
And the simplicity of that kind of life became really appealing. That's where the tiny house idea really took shape.
I can imagine, because being a commercial airline pilot, there's a lot of prestige that comes with that job, but also a tremendous amount of travel. You're never in one place for too long, crossing time zones. It's got to really take its impact on your body as well. So now being able to settle down into sort of this cozy, tiny house, beautifully nestled into the bush, what a transition that must be.
Yeah, it was a huge transition. It was quite difficult letting go of that identity as a pilot, but also realizing I had reached a level in my flying where I felt like I wasn't going to go any higher without just endless pushing and pushing and pushing. And then being able to kind of climb down the career ladder, make a bit of a lateral change, simplify things, just felt really right.
Yeah. And going back to the construction of this house, did you have any experience building before you attempted this project?
I had a bit of experience doing a remodel on an apartment that I bought, and I worked as an auto mechanic for a while, so I have a bit of practical experience there, but no real building. The building skills came from a friend of mine who helped me with all of the detailed know-how.
Great friend to have.
Yeah, we were an awesome team. Yeah.
Great. And what are the dimensions of the tiny house?
So the tiny house is 3.1 by 7.7 by the legal limit of, I think, 4.2.
Right.
Whatever that is, yeah.
Great. And can you tell me about the design of the house?
I really like the black and cedar look. That seemed to be a bit of a trendy thing for a while.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it just works really well with the trees, and I would always like to have green and trees around the house. I think that color looks quite nice.
It does.
The cladding you see is all aluminum, just because I imagine living near the ocean.
Yes.
So I want it to last long. Cedar is Western red cedar, and the copper was actually not planned. I was going to have just regular, probably black guttering or whatever, but the roofers recommended copper, and I thought they were crazy to put that kind of a bling on the house, but it actually turned out to work pretty well.
I think it looks really nice. It definitely offsets against the black and the timber, and it just sort of adds this other little visual pop to the house, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And of course we are super close to the ocean here, you're right, and you're a pretty avid surfer as well, aren't you?
Yeah, even though Kapiti is not really the best place for that, but make do.
Still, good to get in the water regardless, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, from the outside, this house just looks so good. I love the way that it's beautifully nestled in amongst all of these trees, and I cannot wait to see what you've done on the interior. Can we have a look?
Go check it out. Yeah.
All right. This is absolutely stunning. The level of finish in here and the quality of this build looks second to none.
Yeah, that would be thanks to Chris, my joiner friend who did all the detailed work.
Yeah.
He did a really, really nice job with this. I'm really happy.
I can see he is a very particular man.
His attention to detail and his craftsmanship is just second to none. I would love to do more of these with him.
Yeah, absolutely. The way that you've styled this home is beautiful as well.
Yeah, that just came from different ideas, photos I've seen, and kind of incorporated the styles that I liked. I liked the white, the wood, and the black. Has a bit of a Japanese feeling to me. I lived in Asia for about 11 years, and I think some of that look came from some ideas I had there as well.
Yeah, and the layout in here is great as well. Immediately upon entering the home, we're in your lounge. This looks like such a comfortable space. And I really like the way that you've integrated the table at the end of the room here as well.
Yeah, the little kind of eating area, reading nook. It's a really nice little space. It can be a bit of a lounge area, an eating area, my office when I have my computer set up.
Yeah, it does look like you've got a lot going on in this space.
Yeah, so I've tried to design everything having at least 2 or 3 functions. The benches have storage underneath, the table turns into a bed, the closet turns into extra leg room for the bed, the loft could be an extra bed or just storage space. The coffee table has a projector kind of built into it. The screen behind you is a curtain or is a blind as well as a projector screen.
What a clever idea.
So doing more with less.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so tidy the way that all of this has been executed as well, because actually looking at it, it all sort of looks like it is quite singular function. And then to be able to just have all of this multifunction built into it, I really think putting the extra legroom into the wardrobe, what a great idea that is. I don't think I've ever seen that done before.
Yeah, that was a fun little detail. I'm trying to think about how can I have a lot of closet space, but also have the size of the eating area not too long, because it would be awkward if it was the size of a full-size bed.
Yeah.
So the little cutout worked fine.
What a great idea. I can see you've got some mementos from your past life up here as well.
Yeah, these guys ended up paying for the tiny house, so I have to honor them.
Fair enough too, fair enough too. And you've got the wood stove there as well, another really cozy feature for the home.
Yeah, this little stove is just incredible. In the wintertime, it could be 5-6 degrees outside. I have maybe 4 pieces of pine, will keep me warm through the afternoon.
Yeah, fantastic. And speaking of the coziness, another feature that I notice in this home immediately is the lighting in here. You have done such a great job with the lighting design of this home.
Thank you. Yeah, the lighting is usually my favorite part of doing remodels or design. So that was, a lot of kind of 2 a.m. epiphanies of, this is how I'll do it. But yeah, I'm happy how it's turned out, and it really offers different lighting for different moods, different time of the day. If I'm working, if I'm hanging out, if I'm eating, it really has a selection of switches here to choose your mood.
Yeah, great. You've got all of these LED strip lights that obviously create this really nice kind of mood lighting. And then I love the way that all of your spotlights are also movable so that you can angle the lights. I think that's a really nice feature to have.
Exactly. And it also allows me to change the feeling of the place from time to time.
Yeah.
Just what I highlight and what is in shadow.
Yeah, absolutely. Now over here, the design of the stairs, I have never seen anything like that before. That just looks so good. That must have been a tremendous amount of work to craft.
The difficult part was the design.
Right.
That was a lot of design, redesign, sleepless nights trying to figure out how to fit it all in, because I wanted to have a comfortable way of getting up there without having to climb a ladder or stoop, but I didn't want to have it taking up too much of the living room space. So it was quite tricky to get the angles all right. But I think now it actually works quite well.
Yeah, it just looks so good. You've obviously built a huge amount of storage into that area as well.
Yes, and it isn't even full. Like the large area here, it just has a suitcase in it and a bucket of coconut oil. Yeah.
Great. And is that storage that you've built in there as well?
Yes, on the left side, I have my closet, and the right is the back of the drying closet or the broom closet, where I use the heat from the refrigerator, which actually first goes through a small compartment above the refrigerator where I can dry my herbs, dry my fruit, make my yogurt. And then from there, it goes into the closet where I can dry my towels, my wetsuit, whatever. And then it vents out of the louvers there back into the loft.
That is so clever. Something like a fridge, it does generate quite a lot of heat. So being able to utilize that in so many interesting ways in the house, what a cool feature. And the sleeping loft up there looks like a great size as well.
Yeah, it's really spacious. I tried to minimize having any kind of frame under the bed. I put the frame into the floor, So it's like a reverse frame, so you have ventilation through the floor cavity rather than having a frame built up. So that gives you a bit of extra headroom. So it's actually incredibly spacious with the king-size bed, and yeah, you never bump your head. Don't have to stoop really.
Perfect. What a great feature. Yeah, because that's actually something that a lot of people don't think about, needing that sort of ventilation space under the bed. So building it into the floor, what a great idea.
A little bit of a geeky design, but out of the back of the clothes closet, there's a little fan that pulls fresh air through the closet to help keep my clothes fresh. And then that air is then ducted underneath the bed, in the bed frame, and then it is vented out into the drying closet. So I get to dry my clothes, keep my bed dry, and then discharge it.
That's a lot of effort to go through to save a bit of space in the loft, isn't it?
It all happened at 2 a.m.
Gotta love those 2 a.m. ideas. I think that is brilliant. What a great idea. I see you've got some instruments up there as well.
Yeah, learning to play the guitar and the hang drum, and yeah.
Nice. How's that going?
Yeah, it's going good.
Yeah?
Nice bit of meditation and a bit of music before bed is always,
Yeah.
nice way to end the day.
Absolutely. I really like the way that you've approached the transition between the steep gable and the shallow gable up there as well. Having that beautiful triangular apex feature with the plant in it really adds a lot of character.
Yeah, that's quite a highlight. A lot of people mention that when they come in the tiny house. They really like that feature up there. And I like the split pitch as well because it creates more space in the loft.
Yeah.
And then it creates a bit of a feeling of height in here, but giving you that kind of cozy pitched roof feeling as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, there's something about creating those kind of transitions in the home as well, having a little bit of additional interest in the different roof pitches that sort of, it does help to create different zones as you sort of transition from this part of the home into the sleeping area.
It does. Yeah, it really creates the feeling of having a separate room up there.
Yeah. And looking up at the ceiling as well, such beautiful work up here. This timber is exquisite.
Yeah, this was a bit of a tricky thing to do because we had untreated cedar and a steel frame. We can't really shoot a nail through cedar into steel very easily without making a mess of the wood. So it was quite tricky to figure out how to do that. And we ended up using construction adhesive and hot glue to hold the pieces up while the construction adhesive dried. So that took a bit of figuring out our system, but it actually worked really well.
Yeah.
It's incredibly strong.
And that construction adhesive, I mean, that's stronger than nails anyway,
stronger than
isn't
wood,
it?
right?
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
The design of your kitchen is next level. I really love the way that you've done this.
Thanks, yeah. It was a bit tricky getting it to all work, but I have seen quite a few tiny houses where the kitchen really felt quite claustrophobic and quite cramped. So creating this extra space here really allows 2 people to cook together and to not be bumping into each other, and plenty of storage space or a prep area. It really works well.
Yeah. The shape as well, sort of having this little corner here, being able to tuck the fridge away behind this, additional storage, more prep space, and then still have that really nice elongated countertop. It's just great design.
Yep, it works just perfect, yeah.
Yeah. And the stainless steel, the texture of that, what is that?
Yeah, it's they call it, I think, linen stainless steel or something like that. It's a linen texture, and it is, I guess when they roll it, they put the texture on, but it makes it really easy to clean. It doesn't leave the kind of smudgy fingerprint stuff on the stainless steel.
Right. I love stainless steel kitchens for their practicality and their cleanliness. But I think this is the first stainless steel countertop that I've ever thought was actually beautiful. And just looking at the appliances that you've used in here, I can see you have not cut corners anywhere.
Yeah, I figured if this is going to be my forever home, I wanted to have something that was going to last and be comfortable to use and not to have to replace stuff.
Yeah, and especially in a tiny house where you are consuming less of everything, having that ability to sort of spend a little bit more on the places that's really going to actually increase your quality of life in the tiny house, I think is a fantastic idea.
Yeah, absolutely. It was worth it.
Yeah.
Because it is a small space, and in the end, it really wasn't that much.
Yeah, and whatever you put in here, you have to look at all the time, don't you?
That's right, yeah. This is home, and it will hopefully be home for many, many years to come, so yeah.
Absolutely. And again, standing in this part of the home, one of the things that just jumps out to me is all of the attention to detail. These beautiful little pops of timber features that really elevate the design.
Yeah, I wanted to have it kind of clean and simple, but Chris's work naturally, kind of those things happen.
Yeah, just little features like the way that the architrave has been run right up into the ceiling. It's so simple to do, but it really just elevates the design and makes it into quite a special feature.
It does, yeah. It's almost more of a gate than just a hole in the bed as a doorway.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And the bathroom, again, just the level of craftsmanship in here. The way that you've done that feature wall just looks so good.
That was actually probably one of the favorite parts of the build, the finishing part, taking all the offcuts from the ceiling.
Right.
So I kind of built a bit of a mosaic and took a blowtorch to them and yeah, burned them a bit to bring out the colors a bit more.
Yeah.
That was quite fun though. I really enjoyed that.
I feel like in design, so frequently the bathroom is treated like a purely utilitarian space. So to me, it makes such a difference when somebody's gone above and beyond to really beautify the space.
Yeah, that was kind of the intention. So I can leave the bathroom door open and actually have it be part of the space.
Yeah, something that you want to look at instead of just wanting to hide away.
Exactly.
And the vanity, again, what a nice feature. Is that a carbon fiber top you've got on there?
Yeah, the vanity came from the Salvation Army for $50 or so, and I put a bit of carbon cloth on top. And the brass basin was collected by my stepdad. I think he found it on the side of the road or picked it up from some pile of disused material, and now it has become a beautiful brass basin. Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. And again, the way that you've approached the lighting in here is really nice. I especially like the backlight coming from that mirror.
Yeah, I wanted to highlight the cedar, and it does a nice job of that, especially at night. The only light you have on is the bathroom mirror. It really, the whole house kind of glows with that warm color.
Yeah, there's nothing like a harshly angled light to really bring out the texture in the wood.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got a great size shower here as well, and I love that it's got a trombone door.
It had to be. There's no other way you could get in there with a swinging door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why we don't see more trombone doors in tiny houses, I don't understand, because it's so spatially efficient.
They take up no space, yeah.
Yeah.
In the shower, I wanted to have a full-size shower. I didn't want to have an uncomfortable squeezed area too. And with the shower as well, the extract fan is in the shower. You don't even fog up the mirror when you take a shower in the wintertime. It all goes right out the shower before it even comes into the bathroom.
Perfect. You've got the composting toilet there too?
Yes, nature's head. Quite happy with it. Quite simple, quite bulletproof.
Nice and easy. Yeah, brilliant. Looking at your home here, I can see this is a place that you have poured so much of yourself into, and you have put so much thought into every aspect of this home. What's it like to live here?
I love it. I really, really love living here. And even on a gloomy day, rainy day, I'm in the house all day working, whatever, it never feels claustrophobic. It never feels too small or too dark. I appreciate that on a daily basis, just looking at the work that Chris has done and yeah, how it all came together.
And not just the work that Chris has done, the work that you've done as well, because you did a lot of this yourself as well.
Yeah, I give Chris the credit for all the details, but yeah, a lot of the labor, the heavy work, putting the insulation and the painting, that was all that I did.
Yeah. During the lockdowns, you were in your cabin dreaming of doing all of this. Has it lived up to your expectations?
I think lived up to and above that. It is better than I expected. I imagined it would become too small, but I never feel too small. Actually, I get anxiety now when I go into a regular sized house and just think about all the cleaning and all the maintenance and everything that goes with it. This is enough. You don't actually need much more.
I love that point, especially in our culture. We don't talk about that enough, like what enough actually is. I remember that when I built my tiny home, I always thought of it as a tiny house, and I talked about it as if it was a tiny house. And one day somebody took a picture of me in front of my tiny house, and I realized that it actually wasn't that tiny. It actually looked like a perfectly reasonable sized space for a human being to live in. And I think sort of reframing that expectation and realizing that we don't need that much and that too much actually can become detrimental to us is quite an empowering realization.
Exactly. When I'm in here by myself, I feel like the space is right. It feels small, but it doesn't feel too small. It feels just about right. But I've had 5 or 6 people in here, and when there's that many people in the house, it actually feels bigger because it actually fits 5 or 6 people without people being uncomfortably close together. And it works. It really is enough. The tiny house has really been now a place that I call home and feel at home in. It really is something that I wake up to every morning, and I look at the beautiful wood and the angles of the ceiling and just really feel grateful to have that space, especially when it's raining and I hear the rain on the roof. Yeah, it means a lot to me to have built my own home and to be able to enjoy it and live in it fully.
You have gone above and beyond with all of your materials, really nice fixtures throughout the home. Can we talk about the cost that was involved in building this?
Sure. As it is completely furnished with the bed and all the furnishings, it was about $150,000. But that did not include my 6 or 7 months of work. So the value maybe at $200,000, something like that.
Yeah. what you've created here, this is an exceptional high quality home. And I think spending that little bit extra on materials has taken it from a space that you're comfortable in to a space that is an absolute joy to be in.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree with that. And I think that was because I wanted to be my forever home. I wanted to reach the level where it is, I wouldn't say it's luxurious, but it is very comfortable, and I really enjoy living here, and I'm happy to come home. I always feel peaceful here, and I really don't crave anything more.
Yeah.
It really can be a forever home.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's another really exciting development on the horizon for this home, isn't there?
Yes, there is. The big move happening, luckily not too far across the road, to a bit of a more spacious piece of land with the potential for some chickens and a dog and a bit of gardening. So yeah, in the next few months that'll happen.
So congratulations on purchasing the new property. That's a huge step.
Thank you. Yep. Yeah, it was a big thing for sure.
Yeah. And the property that you've bought, it does already have a house on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has a little old 1945 cottage on it. The land will be shared with the tenant living there, and I hope to have a bit of a community feeling and shared gardening and community experience with whoever lives there.
Yeah, I really love that idea. And yeah, your tiny house is going to have a brand new parking spot. It's going to be exciting to see how you set all that up.
Yeah, it's going to be quite scary. There's going to be a few sleepless nights, I think, before it gets moved.
Look, I am absolutely sure that it's going to be fine, but anytime you move a tiny house, your heart will always be in your mouth. So it'll be nerve-wracking, but worth it.
Yep. It'll be professionally done, so it'll be fine, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Well, David, this is a seriously beautiful home that you've built yourself. I mean, from the moment that I walked into this place, I could see this was something really special. Thank you so much for sharing your home with me.
Thanks, Bryce. Thanks for coming by.
The home that David has created for himself here is unquestionably beautiful, but what really stands out to me about this, it's not just the home, it's also his personal transition. Coming from a high-flying career, a literally high-flying career, to choosing simplicity, to choosing to connect with the things that are innately important to him as a human being. I think that growth is something that personally I really connect with, and that I can see how meaningful it's been in his own life.